You're watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly, talking with longtime NFL wide receiver Brandon Stokley. I'm Adam the Bull, and Brandon, it's time for week number 6 in the National Football League. It flies by. It's the quickest season. It's the most popular sport in America, but it's the shortest sport in America. It goes by in a hurry, and it's doing it again this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's hard to believe we're entering week 6 now, but it goes quickly. It's been a fun start to the season. I can't wait for the next 11, 12 weeks here and heading into the playoffs. It's gonna get more fun each and every week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's jump right into the games, and we've had let's start with the Bengals and the Lions, because not the Bengals and the Lions, the Bengals and the Packers, because the Bengals will have a new starting quarterback this week. Joe Flacco started the season as the Browns quarterback, got benched. He had not played well in Cleveland. He goes to Cincinnati, where they obviously have a lot better receivers than in Cleveland, but they have just as bad, if not a worse, offensive line. The Packers are a 14.5-point favorite. Flacco trying to become the first quarterback since 1962 to beat the same team twice while playing for two different teams. That seems unlikely that it'll happen. I do like the Bengals to keep it close. I know they've gotten blown out. I think the team will get a little boost from the veteran Flacco, and I think they'll stay more competitive in this game. I would not pick them to win. But what do you make of Joe Flacco starting for Cincinnati and this game?
Crazy. My last year in the NFL was 2013 with the Ravens, and Joe was my quarterback. So yeah. He's been around the block. He's been doing it for a long time. What a tough deal. To all of a sudden get traded early week, and now you're starting against a really good football team. I think it's blowout city. Like you said,
okay.
I mean, Cincy's offensive line, they stink. They can't run the ball well, and he's an old quarterback that doesn't move very well. Now, you got a couple nice weapons on the outside, and their defense is terrible also. So, man, if this isn't a double-digit win for the Packers, I'd be shocked.
Just shows you how good Joe Burrow is, that he is able to overcome all the deficiencies of this roster. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco's former team, the Cleveland Browns, they lost again last week, blowing that game against Minnesota in England. Dylan Gabriel, not bad for his first NFL start. This week, his first NFL road game, technically. It was a neutral site last week where they were the home team. And it's going to be in Pittsburgh, where obviously the Steelers are dominant at home. The Steelers are playing pretty well overall. They're a 5.5-point favorite, and you like the Steelers in this game.
I do. Give me the Steelers. Like you said, Dylan Gabriel's first real true away start. That's about as tough as you can get going into Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. I mean, tough place to play, obviously. And now the Steelers defense got a game of film to watch on Dylan Gabriel, strengths, weaknesses, things like that to game plan for him. So it's going to be a tough first away game for Dylan Gabriel. So it seems like I pick the Steelers every week. It seems like every other week they win, and they win for me. So maybe I'll get lucky this week with them and get another win. So I'd go Steelers here minus the points.
Kenneth Gainwell had a huge game for them last week, and this week Jaylen Warren should be back, so they should be even better. The Browns are tough to run on. It'll be an interesting game. Quinshon Judkins has been great for the Browns, but they have not much of a passing game to speak of. Let's go to the London game. We just talked about reference the other London game. Well, the London game this week is the Jets. The Jets, and you like the Jets to cover in this game. The Jets are getting 7.5 points against the Broncos. Technically, it's a Jets home game, but it's in London, and you like the Jets to be competitive. You think they're going to get their first win or just keep it close?
No, I don't think it's their first win. Golly, that would be you talk about a bad loss for the Broncos coming off of that Eagles win.
Yeah.
The biggest win around Denver in a few years, regular season win. So that was a big-time win for them. And they're not going to overlook the Jets, but you're on the road. You're coming off that huge win on the road again, and now you're going to London. I just think there's a lot of distractions there. And that's a lot of points. Broncos offense woke up in the fourth quarter against the Eagles, but they didn't do anything in the first 3 quarters. So while I do like the Broncos to win this game, I think, if you're going to give me 7.5 here, I'm going to take the Jets and also like the under. I think it's a low-scoring football game. Broncos offense has been really inconsistent, and on top of that, their defense has been great. So put those things together. I like the Jets to cover the 7.5. Give me the points there with the Jets and take the under.
What's funny about the Jets is they've actually scored a decent amount of points for a team that's 0-5. They've scored at least 21 points in 4 of their 5 losses, but yet their defense hasn't done the job. Next game on the docket, I have a play in this one. I know you've picked the Patriots a few times. You don't have them this week, but I do. I really like the way Drake May's playing. The Saints are absolutely awful. I know they got their first win last week against a really bad Giants team, and they're a mess too. But I don't like them at all, even at home against the Patriots. I like the way the Patriots are playing. Drake May is, quietly having one of the better seasons for any quarterback in the league. They're getting better and better, and they're 2-0 on the road. Only 1-2 at home for whatever reason. So the Patriots are favored they're a 3.5-point favorite. I know it's on the road, but I look for them to win by 4 to 7 points this week.
Yeah, you just hope they don't have a letdown after that big win against Buffalo.
That's fair.
That's the only thing that you're hoping for because, they're partying, they're celebrating. What a big win that was. Probably the biggest regular season win in years for the Patriots. To go on the road and beat Buffalo in that environment, a big-time win for Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and the rest of that team. So, but I'm with you. I just think that, Vrabel will have those guys ready to play. I don't think there's going to be a letdown there.
One of the biggest stories in the NFL this year, we got to talk about it now. That's the Indianapolis Colts. They are 4-1. They're at home against the Cardinals. Colts' only loss was a tough road game against the Rams. They're at home this week. Their offense has scored 33, 29, 41, 20, and 40. Now, they've played mostly bad teams. Well, 3 of their 5 opponents are bad teams, but their offense has been prolific. Daniel Jones has been really good after being terrible with the Giants. We know about Jonathan Taylor, how good he's been. And their defense has surprisingly been really good as well. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, show me a running back that's playing better than Jonathan Taylor right now. He's been unbelievable. And Tyler Warren's been great, rookie out of Penn State, tight end there. And Daniel Jones has been doing his thing. So that's been fun, impressive to watch. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it going. But I was asking the same question last week, and they just waxed the Raiders. And so I got the Cardinals plus the points in this one. And I don't know why. It's just a lot of points. And I'm thinking that the Cardinals are going to bounce back from that terrible loss. You can't find a worse loss in the NFL. And how they lost that game, I think they're going to find a way to keep this game close. I don't know if they're going to win this game. Now, I'm either going to look like a total idiot and fool for picking the Cardinals after what we saw last week, or I'm going to look like I know what the heck I'm doing. So come on, Cardinals. Let's go. Bounce back. The season's not over. It was one tough loss. Go out there and play and clean up a couple things. So I'm going to take the points on the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. I think they will bounce back, and that was just brutal. You can't – It's hard to believe that they lost that game, but you got to move on and bounce back. Let's talk about the Titans and Raiders because I got a pick here. The Titans were the beneficiaries last week of the Cardinals' collapse, and they got their first win of the year. Obviously, before that, they had played pretty poorly, but they had played good teams. The Raiders are not a good team. I know the game is in Oakland or in Vegas, but I think Tennessee's going to build on that win, even though they got lucky, and I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's a field goal game either way. And I think the Titans they may not win, but they'll cover. The Raiders don't deserve to be a 4.5-point favorite over anybody, in my opinion. So I'm going with the Titans to cover against the Raiders in Vegas.
Yeah, Raiders just can't take care of the football. They're turning it over. Defense is below average. You got to get Genty going. A couple games ago, he had 3 touchdowns. You got to get more consistency from that running game. And Bowers missed last week. What is his situation going to be?
Right.
Obviously, he's a big part of that offense. So Geno Smith's got to do a better job of taking care of the football.
Let's talk about the Buccaneers and the 49ers. Man, what a turnaround Baker Mayfield has had in his career. I covered him with the Browns, I thought he was immature. He was immature, frankly, and he'll tell you he was immature. He handled things so poorly in Cleveland. It was a bad ending in Cleveland. His first year after leaving Cleveland, he went to Carolina and the Rams. It was a total disaster for the most part. And he goes to Tampa, and he's been a completely different player. He's grown up. He is a leader now, and most importantly on the field, Brandon, he stopped turning the ball over. He was a turnover machine in Cleveland. Only Jared Goff turned the ball over more during that stretch of time than Baker Mayfield. Right now, he's a top 10 quarterback easy. He might be top 5. He's playing great. I'm going to lay the 3 points with the Buccaneers at home against the 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers, good job, battling through, their quarterback issues with Purdy being hurt, Mac Jones playing great, another guy that you look and say, is his career over? All of a sudden, he's playing great football. I tell you what, I played with some really good quarterbacks in my career, and you see how Baker and how his teammates just love him and how they rally around him. He's tough. He's gritty. Reminds me a little bit of Jay Cutler. He's not going to turn down, going for that first down and lowering his head and getting the guys rallied around him. So it's been fun to watch him the last few years there in Tampa. What a great job he's doing. He's lost Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's just coming back, getting healthy again, and he's just finding ways to get it done. And so it's fun to watch as a fan and watch and see what he's been able to do the last couple of years.
The rookie Emeka Buka from Ohio State has been great, and so is their running game. Even last week when Bucky Irving was hurt, Rashard White had a big game. So, okay, let's talk about the Chargers and the Dolphins. Chargers 3-2, but the Chargers had started 3-0. They've dropped 2 in a row, and they've only scored a total of 28 points against the Giants and Commanders the last 2 weeks. Dolphins got their first win last week, so they beat the Jets. They're 1-4, and you like the Dolphins in this one?
Dolphins screwed it up last week. They gave that game away last week. They lost to Carolina.
It was 2 weeks ago against the Jets.
2 weeks ago. They got their first win last week.
Yeah.
They lost to Carolina, gave Carolina with their second win of the year, and just gave that football game away. So, again, I like the Dolphins. This game is in Miami, correct? And so I like Miami. Chargers got to go all across the country. Last time they went across the country, they played the Giants, and they got beaten that game. They're more injured now than they were a couple weeks ago. So their offensive line is a little bit of a mess. Both of their running backs are hurt. Justin Herbert's getting hit at a historic rate way too many times. So even though the Dolphins, again, they're kind of like the Cardinals. Are they going to keep fighting? Have they thrown in the towel? What do they have left over there in Miami? I'm going to go with Miami at home, that this is the NFL. These guys are going to play with a little bit of pride and find a way to at least cover the spread.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you on that as well. Sunday Night Football, the Lions and the Chiefs. Chiefs dropped to 2-3, losing to the Jaguars last week. The Lions, who a lot of people thought they were awfully smart, saying their offense wasn't any good without Ben Johnson in week 1 when they scored 13 and got smoked by the Packers. Well, since then, they've scored 52, 38, 34, 37. I know to be fair, it's against bad teams, but the Browns may be a bad team, but their defense is not bad, and they have scored 161 points the last 4 weeks. That's over 40 a game. I love the Lions in this game. I think they're going to win again. I know it's weird to pick against the Chiefs at home, but the Chiefs are not the same team to me right now. I love the Lions in this game. What say you,
Brandon? I'm still hesitant to go against the Chiefs.
I get it.
I know that they lost last week to Jacksonville, but that was on the road.
Yeah.
But they did beat Baltimore 2 weeks ago at home. But Baltimore stinks. All their guys are hurt, so I don't know where to put the Chiefs right now. It seems like they're getting healthier, and they got their weapons back, and they look a little bit better offensively. Their defense doesn't look like the same defense it did the last couple of years, so they're not able to get off the field like they have been in the past. So interesting game here, and but I'm looking forward to it. We're about to find out, if the Chiefs are they taking that step back this year, or are they going to be okay?
Yeah, and then we got 2 Monday night games. Bears, Commanders. Neither one of us has a play on that one, so we'll leave that there. But the Bills and Falcons is the first game on ESPN, and the Bills coming off a brutal loss, and I would say an unexpected loss to the improving Patriots. It's the first time the Bills didn't score 30 points in a game this year. They were kind of out of sorts. I think they'll bounce back this week and make the Falcons pay in this situation. I'm going to take the Bills -5 in this game. What do you think about that one, Brandon?
Yeah, I think the Falcons have a bye week last week. I don't remember seeing them playing.
Yep.
So what do they look coming off of a bye? It seems like they've been kind of boom or bust. I mean, they got whipped by Carolina a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was 30-0. So can Buffalo bounce back? And usually when you're a really good football team like Buffalo is and you get beat at home like that, you're on a mission the next week. So
yep.
If I was going one way or the other in that game, I would probably go with you there and take Buffalo and give the points to the Falcons.
Yeah. All right. Well, another big slate on the table. Hope everybody enjoys the game. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Tim and Max for producing. For Brandon Stokley, I'm Adam the Bull. We'll talk to you next time on Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly.
Thanks for watching Bet Rivers Pro Football Weekly on the Bet Rivers Network.